So you raised money from who?
So we raised from Nithin Kamath through his investment arm Rainmatter. That's Zerodha's investment arm. We also have Enam Holdings that invested in us. Gruhas, which is backed by Nikhil, Kamath and Abhijit Pai. Auxano, which is a VC fund in Delhi, and Samarthya Investment Advisors. So these were 5 investors who invested in us. And I would say the process of raising capital was an interesting one for us. When we thought about raising capital, we initially thought that, since we have been a bootstrap business for all this time, we did not want to obviously go and, think of it from a traditional VC standpoint, because we wanted investors who can add value from a strategic standpoint also in our business. So I think that is, one of the big decisions that any company should take, that what kind of business are you from an investment standpoint? Are you a business that needs VC funding, or are you a business that needs a strategic investor? And I think that's not a one size fits all solution. I think that's a very, very important thing for someone to identify right when they start raising, that what kind of investor do you want to raise from? What are your expectations from a growth standpoint? What kind of business do you see yourself in 10 years being? So I think that was a question which we answered early on. And for us, we realized that Rainmatter, backed by Zerodha, given their philosophy, given that they are in the investment ecosystem and they are investing in companies that are in this space, they were the first investor that we approached. It was just a natural course of progression for us, because getting Nithin's buy-in on our product was definitely something which seemed like a validator for us, of course. So we reached out to them, and they were very proactive, and they had a couple of conversations with us. So we got on a call with them, and Nithin was there also. And the amazing thing which we found was that it was our first time raising. We had never raised before, so obviously we had a pitch deck ready and all of that. But Nithin wanted to first look at the product. For him, it was let me understand the product in more detail, and we went into a lot of detail about what the product does and what kind of problems it solves. And that's something which we found really refreshing. And at the end of those 2 conversations, I think Nithin was, he understood the problem we're solving for savvy investors and HNIs and family offices in India, and they came on board. And then we decided to look for other investors alongside.
Interesting what you were saying about Nithin, and what you said, like normally the standard sort of way these things work is they look at the financials and the pitch deck and all of that, and it reminds me of Bezos's mentality of that customer centricity, right? So ultimately, if you make a product that people like and charge a price that they're happy to pay, that's the best marketing anyone can do, right? That you get enough people who like the product, and it solves a very real problem. And I mean, you think of what Zerodha has done, and I mean, absolutely revolutionizes gigantic and age-old field, right? It's not like they invented broking. So it's I mean, I can appreciate. It doesn't surprise me that was his approach, right, even when it came to investing in other companies. And like you said, it's right in his wheelhouse, right? That ultimately serving investors, solving problems that investors face on a regular basis. And what's it been like working with someone like him? And of course, you have even the other 4 investors, all very well-known, savvy investors. But just your experience once the money comes in, what do you think have been some of the advantages that maybe you didn't necessarily think of at the time of raising, which you have now realized?
After raising, it's not like the culture or the mentality has changed. We still want to be product focused, and we've become even more judicious when it comes to deploying capital, because when you have raised external capital, you should be more mindful about how you spend it, in my opinion. And we've become more careful about tracking the ROI on various initiatives, including digital marketing. So I wouldn't say that our marketing budgets have multiplied after raising capital. So we raised close to $2 million. It was our first round. And overall, I think what has been the theme of progress in the last 1 year since we raised has been building out the product more, and fine tuning it for a savvier investor. So we are adding more features that a savvier investor would need, someone who invests in multiple different asset classes would need, a support system standpoint. If you're solving problems for your business and having an investor like Rainmatter, they have been an immense pillar of support for us, regardless of what the initiative is. So, we've, always, consulted them on, new products that we're launching, or, changes in various things in the organization. So I think, that unconditional support definitely helps. And it's not only, of course, they are also, very mindful about how we're growing and all of that. It's obviously the numbers do matter for any investor, but, at the end of the day, if there is a problem that we're facing, having someone, and all of our investors for that matter, we're fortunate that, they have always been willing to help and give us their time. So I would say that, having them, so Nithin has a team, Rainmatter, that actually, they are always, available regardless of when you email them, to help you, or, to connect you with someone, or anything of that sort. So we've definitely benefited from that. On the technology side also, there have been, benefits that, we have obviously attained. Them having invested in us, they have, since understood the problem that customers face to onboard data from any broker to MProfit. And what they did first amongst all the brokers is they gave us an API. And that API allows anyone who uses MProfit to directly connect to Zerodha and just sync all their historical trades into MProfit. So they're the first broker who's done that for us. And now other brokers also we're talking to who have appreciated the problem and have started responding positively. I think before that, we had obviously tried to initiate API conversations, but there's no skin in the game for a broker to do that for a third party. And that's fair, that's reasonable. But today, when automation is all the talk, other brokers also appreciate that and in fact, we've had brokers come to us directly that, oh, Zerodha has done this API for you. We also would like to provide you an API. So at least that conversation has started.